You got to have this right. You know, some of the literature that I read says that when you admit, thanks, some literature that I read say when you admit that you have been defeated, when you admit that you have been defeated, you can start to get some help. You can start to get some help. And I also mentioned about changing your way of thinking. Oh, I can handle that. I'll just do it differently this time. You know, I'll do it on the weekends rather than doing it 7 days a week. You know, a lot of people have tried that. It didn't work for long. It wasn't sustainable. You know, it worked for a minute, and then, you know, bam, off and running again. You know, so I mean, the takeaway is that, man, this thing is a serious thing, man. The young lady that I read about that had an eating disorder, and this reminded me, like I said, my references to drugs and alcohol. This lady had an eating disorder, and the guy was trying to help her. And the guy said he tried to get her to look at herself. He went by her house and made her put on a bikini and look at herself. Weighed 77 pounds. Somebody look at you from behind, your neck was so small, you know what I'm saying? You're thinking that your head was gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? You know? And we stay here for a minute, man, and we gain a little weight. You know what I'm saying? Be good. This disease, man, is fatal. You know? I mean, it affects you, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually. You know, that obsession. You know, that obsession. You know, hey, he was one of the families. Him and his wife was families of the McShannon program. And I can't tell you, man, some of the stories that we have heard at McShannon. And we are still hearing at McShannon. You know, all the stories ain't good either. You know, all of them ain't good. John them got a wall downstairs, man, of everybody that they came through there and has passed. You know, man got a wall, and I'm telling you, it's like here. Now they got some little crosses that they put out there, you know, and now they got a walkway that they have put out there, you know, in memory of it. You know, so man, try to do what you need to do, you know, to get this thing in order, man. Get yourself in order, get yourself straight, you know, and give it another shot. One thing about it, and Pam said this, all of y'all will eventually go home. All of y'all will eventually go home. You know? You get a second chance. You know? What you gonna do with it? Hey, with that, I'll introduce you to Family, a program that I know of. Mr. John Shindler.
Still celebrating the Marine Corps birthday, which was November 10th.
Yeah.
And Veterans Day, the 11th, and they really, you know, Marine Corps birthday comes first. And I think Veterans Day is the day that all the Marines take the day off and recover from their hangovers and stuff. So it's an important day for the Marines. need a day rest. You know, I was listening to Marshall share. I was talking to a father today, a little while ago. He's driving down right now. He get in at 2 o'clock at night. So tomorrow, you know, and Marshall talked about when you get out, what you're going to do. Well, if you do use fentanyl, you better do it with somebody with you that's got narcan. And, but I don't encourage it. I'm just saying if you find yourself in that position, make sure you have somebody with you that's educated and know how to narcan. Because fentanyl, it will get you. And there was a kid, we've had one death in 20 years over at the shed in one of our houses. It was a kid that did fentanyl. And everybody, they heard the thump when he went out. So within 30 seconds, they're on him and they see what's happening. Within a minute, they hit him with Narcan. I think they hit him 6 to 8 times. But that fentanyl was so strong, the Narcan didn't save him. So it's not a given that Narcan is going to save you. But in most cases, it will save you. But our general stories are one of where you stop using drugs, lose that desire to use drugs, and find a new way to live and leave that stuff behind you. I tell people all the time, you're not going to regret staying clean and sober. There's no way you can regret staying clean and sober. And most of our regrets, they come in when we do pick up, when we do use. There's, you know, I see Sam when I go to the ring, but always thank Sheriff Rogers for letting us come in here, bringing a variety of guest speakers and hope givers, so they can share their experience bringing hope with you. And to this day, we know it's clear that when you have programs like this, that is a big recidivism reducing component to correction. We know this stuff works. We know a lot of y'all will leave up out of here because of the program you get here, the speakers we bring in, it increases your chance of staying clean and sober, not coming back to jail for prison. And it irritates and frustrates me that every jail or prison in America doesn't have programs. Makes it pretty ignorant. You know, once you have knowledge, once you have an understanding, and you don't do it, you know, you go from ignorant to arrogant, and arrogant kills. And I'm just so grateful for that. Because I do this thing called service work. I love to get kudos, you know. I like it when people say, thank you, John, make me feel good. But truth is, I do it so I can stay clean and sober. I don't ever to get out in the community, share our experience, strength, and hope. So it's just as much good for us as it is for you. So I know we have an awesome speaker tonight, and I can tell he's awesome because I never heard him speak. And I talked to him for a few minutes before the meeting started. I got real excited because, you know, me and Marshall, we heard about everybody in the community, you know. So when we get somebody coming up in and we haven't heard, we get excited, man. We just like to hear that message, you know what I mean? And I briefly spoke with Hector. You know, he told me where he was working.
took, and I've been in your seat. I've done jail time after I've been in this program because I have to pay for the things that I do. I have to take, and I lost my home, my marriage, my children. I lost all of that because I just couldn't see the truth. You know, I could only see my truth. And my truth was that I needed to get high and I needed to drink, regardless of whether I put my kid's life in jeopardy, anyone's life in jeopardy. Had a job, was working. Mondays and Tuesdays, I had a problem eating, so I would go to BJ's and I would get a bag of apples or some bananas, and that's what I ate because I would get paid on Wednesdays. It's a very, very hard life, but it's a very, very rewarding life. Here, the answer is not in you. See, I had this wonderful, wonderful human being who's still my sponsor almost 17 years later. I was blessed to take and to walk this walk with him. Because this is a walk. Because you see, when I wanted, I had no problems going out there and finding like-minded people. That's what I did. So if I knew that somebody had something, I had no problem sucking up to that person to get what I wanted. But of course, now I'm telling you that because if not, you're gonna be in here. You're gonna come back. You're gonna do a return trip. And you may think, he doesn't know what the fuck. I lost everything. I lost everything. And yet I came up to this human being and I asked him for help. And that person led me to the God of my understanding. And the God of my understanding has completely transformed my life. See, I learned that I suffer from talking, I was told not to curse, talking that I needed to take, and I needed for a year to take and go to these meetings and sit in the front and put my head between my legs so that I could get rid of this hearing deficiency that I have. Because he said that if he wanted to know where to cop and where the best place to take and get high was, he would ask me. But until then, I was to do exactly what he said. Because I wanted what he had. And following that. Because you see, the greatest things that you can do in your life, you're going to find if you live this life, is to do sober things. See, because I walk around guiltless, because I don't lie to anybody. I don't need to impress anyone. And that's what this program does for you. This program takes and allows you to be free for the first time in your life. Because if what you were doing was so right, why didn't you do it in front of your family? Why didn't you just bring out, why couldn't I come on, because if what I'm doing is right, why can't I do it in front of my family, in front of the people that I work with? But no, see, away from the grace of God, I'm always a liar, a cheater, and a fraud. I live a life to impress you, and then I live this going to work at McDonald's. Because I think that people would think that less of me. No. With this God of your understanding that's going to save your life and save the life of all of those around you. See, if I was a good father, why did it take my daughter 13 and a half years to forgive me? If I was doing the right thing, why did it take her so long? Because I wasn't. I put her life, her sister's life, her mother's life in danger. See, that's what I do when I'm using and drinking. See, there's none of you here today. That statistic about 10 doesn't have to happen for any one of you. You can all recover. But I have to be willing to take and live this life. The God of your understanding will give you a life that you never even knew existed. But I have to want it. I have to be willing to put in the work. I have to be willing to learn. He would say, what role did you play in that? I didn't care about that money. See, I cared about the money that got me off. I didn't care about that money. So when she took everything, my sponsor says, gee, maybe you should care about those sorts of things. You see, I set myself up. If I'm in jail, I don't need to look at mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy ain't got shit to do with this. Sorry I didn't use that word. They ain't got nothing to do with this. I need to pay for them. Because the more slick I am, the more I think I can get away with it. See, I need to pay for everything that I've done so that I never do it again. The gentleman just spoke about, I went to a federal prison. There's no recovery there. They don't even want you to, they don't allow meetings. You don't have this opportunity there. But I passed on. I had a year and a half when I went in. I passed on what I had learned. See, you don't have to live hating yourself. You don't have to live disappointing anyone anymore. That's all you need to say. That's all I said. There are these steps that can take and can save your life, that can allow you to be a productive member of this society. See, I may not like people out there, but I've learned to love people out there. They show me how to live and how not to live. That's what they do. I don't have to voice my opinion that you're this, that you're that. Somebody cuts me off. I think of everyone that drives as an alcoholic or a drug addict going to a meeting. Just get out of their way. It's not important for me to take and to provide martial order or driving lessons for everyone. That's not my job. It's just not. It's not my job to tell my sister how to live. It's not my job to tell my brother how to live. It's not my job. See, I can't even change me. I have to go to this God of my understanding to change me. So if I need to go to God to change me, how can I change you? How can I do that? I can't do that. I don't have that power. You see, I was taught that if I was homeless, I didn't need to look at anybody but myself. If I didn't have any money, I didn't need to look at anyone else. I needed to look at me and my actions. And if I didn't want to live that way, I needed to take these steps to become part of a fellowship of people that are out there that want to help you. Because at the same time they're helping you, they're helping themselves. That's what I needed to find. You know, it's the greatest organization that exists. True friends, people that will take and give you anything that they have to give and never ask for anything in return. You have friends like that?
Swearing.
You have friends like that?
Yes.
Well, you don't have friends like that, right? See, I come from that same society. I come from I'm giving you something, you're giving me something. But this isn't about that. This is about taking and living a life in which it's so difficult to explain because I've never lived this life. I've lived the scared life. I've lived the frightened life. I lived the not knowing but thinking that I'm knowing. I've lived the shame life. I lived the self-hatred life. I lived the self-delusion life. I've lived all of those lives. But this life allows me to take and have a relationship with another human being and think about them more than I think about myself. I live with my sister and my wife, and they're right all the time. How wonderful is that? See, I don't need to prove to anybody that I'm right, that I have the best. No. It's not important. What is important is having a nice dinner on the table and being able to enjoy it with people that really care about me. See, whether the Yankees are better than the Mets, I don't own either team. I'm just a Met fan. I don't need to argue that. I sit in front and I watch the game and that's it. You know, it transforms you. That's what it does. It removes gambling from your life. It removes the I want from your life. Do you think that this is better? You know, what I found from my prison experience is that there are either people that really like it, because I met a lot of them, they really like it, they go back and forth all the time. And there are people that I gravitated to that never wanted to ever do anything, ever, to get back in that situation. You always have to decide if you want to be hip, slick, and cool, or if you want to take and you want to know in your heart that you don't want to live the way that you're living. Always have to be willing to do that. Always have to be willing to put. How important is their opinion? How important is their opinion? That's what I have to ask myself constantly. Better to have a relationship with people that care, with people that are there, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I burned every bridge that existed. You know, it took a long time for my family to come back. They needed to see. I didn't need to tell anyone. They needed to see that there was a transformation going on. See, because they just never believed me, and they had every right to, because I never told the truth. So I was taught that if you want what we had, you have to be willing to go to any length to get it. I have to admit complete defeat. I have to believe I can buy my way. Then I have to be willing to find this power that is going to take, along with another human being that's gone through this life, is going to take and transform my life. You know, I have to be willing to submit to that power. It may be gradual in the beginning, but I have to be willing to submit to that power. Because that power is going to do great things in my life. Then I have to take all of these wonderful thoughts that I've built into my head that allow me to analyze all the things that happened to me and walk around with that self-hatred. And I have to be rid of that. And then all the times that I sit there and I scheme how I'm going to get even, but I never do anything about it, of course. I just scheme it. I just, it's part of the self-delusion. It's part of me trying to get even with you, even though I'm too frightened to get even with you. But it's good to have those knives that I sharpen to hurt you. And then it's just share that garbage. All the garbage that I've been carrying, to share it with another human being. And then look in that, when you're sharing that with another human being and seeing how I've caused all these situations in my life. That I say that I don't steal. I don't character assassinate, but that's all I do, because that's how I live. I live putting you down, so I don't have to look at me. And then I stop. God actually stops me from stealing things. Because that doesn't feel good anymore. Hurting you doesn't feel good anymore. Because of course, in my case, God brought all of this right to my table. So it didn't feel good anymore not to have a daughter in your life. To have people take and wish that you had died, that hated you so much. And I was taught that I needed to pray for these people and leave them alone. And then taking and going to these people that I've harmed and telling them the stuff that I've done to them. And taking and telling them and then keeping silent. Putting like these big wads of gum in your mouth and allowing them to take and to tell you what they've always wanted to tell you. All the pain that you caused them. Very difficult, but very wonderful. You know, because those people aren't in my lives anymore. Some of them are. The majority of them aren't. You see, I don't life that I live. Every single day, I send out a message of hope. And where did I find these 162 people? In the same fellowship that I'm a part of. That's where I found these people. I work with these people. I pass on that you take and you become willing to take and become part of this fellowship. You know, because then it's just your last 3 steps they're just maintenance steps. I look at things that I've done during the day. If I've harmed anyone, I call them up. I take and I ask for forgiveness. You know, I learn how to pray and meditate. And then I take and I do what I'm doing now is I take, having had a spiritual awakening, I take and I let you know that you can have the same thing that I have. You know, God does not discriminate. The God of your understanding loves you. He dwells deep within you. Deep within us, God dwells. I just have to be willing to take and to ask for help. That's all it is. People are dying from doing what I did because now they're lacing stuff. You know, a friend of mine in the program lost his 18-year-old son. First time. Cocaine, first time, gone. Gone. Massive seizure right there. You know, appreciate the life that you've been given. Appreciate the opportunities that you have. You're not worthless. You're worthy. You're not hopeless. You just need hope. That's all you need is just hope. If I go to these meetings and I ask for help, maybe I go from hopeless to hopeful. But I have to try it, unless you want to come back here. You know, I was telling them that about 4 hours ago, I was in that courtroom. My niece just got sentenced to 5 years because she could not or would not. She saw how I was living. She saw how I wasn't living. She decided that nobody was going to know. They say she sold something to someone that killed that person. She has to live with that too. In which I'm being offered a new life. Or I can continue to battle the disease. How's that worked out for you? How's that worked out for you? Has it worked? See, that's the question that you have to ask. If you can do this on your own, what the hell are you doing here? See, I went to jail for things that I had needed to make amends for. That's why I went to jail. Because I was willing to stand up there and say, yes, I did it. I was offered an opportunity not to go to jail, to put someone else in jail. But that's not how I'm living. I'm living on paying for what I've done, not getting off, because I'll continue to do the same thing. You see, I stand in the sunshine, and I'm not scared of it. Whether you like me or not, it's none of my business. My life evolves around giving you an opportunity to know that you don't have to live this way. To know that you don't have to hurt those people that love you. To know that there is another life. But you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You know, I've suffered tremendously in this life. I think I've suffered more in this recovery life than I've ever taken and suffered in all the time that I was using and drinking. But it's been worthwhile because it's given me a moral center. It's allowed me to take and embrace this word called empathy. Embrace hope. See, I needed to learn what it was like to hurt because I never had a problem hurting other people. I needed to learn how to cry because I never cared when others cried. I needed to take and learn what it was like not to be able to sleep because I stole people's peace of mind. I needed to take and to know what hunger was like because, again, I have no problems taking food out of people's mouths. not that I think of myself all the time, it's that that's all I think about. And if that's worked out for you, maybe someday I'll come back and I'll see you right back here again. But if you don't, all you gotta do is come to a meeting. You'll find me somewhere in Richmond every night. I make a meeting. Because I never know who I can. If you want to take and you want to live this life, you ladies, I know wonderful ladies in this program that I can take and help you to hook up with. Just gotta want this. And if not, like I said, we'll see each other again. And with that, that's all.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Hector.
Ain't been on long enough. I go to you.
Nah, want to say something? That one was working.
Man, y'all gotta work that stuff out.
Yeah.
Both of them. I got two.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, right?
Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Hector. For me, I'm following that, man. I'm following his sharing. He went from the pain of addiction, There's going to be some dark days, but that's a part of the process. You get out, now to tell you, after 3-4 days, you wondering why this, that, and the other, you don't have a job and you ain't got a pocket full of money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't time yet. And I just texted somebody. If this thing was that easy, you know we would abuse it and misuse it, take advantage of it, and everything else, because that's what we do. That's how we have built ourselves, We take advantage of any and everything that's in front of us, Man, because I heard, I said the other day, man, we got sight, but we ain't got no vision. You know what I mean? The vision gonna tell you, man, these people around here that you taking advantage of, just like he said, man, they gonna dislike you. How would you feel? You know what I'm saying? How would you feel if somebody was taking advantage of you? Man, I used to hear people talk about that in relationships. You know what I mean? It ain't one-sided like that. Somebody taking advantage of me, man, I'm telling you. John told me in the beginning, to put on his military uniform, fight back. And that's what we do, man. That's what we do. I mean, we human. You know what I mean? So we don't know. I don't know it either. The process is, can't nobody tell you that. I will say this. John been here for 41 years, man. And just understand, there are issues in this thing that are ongoing. From the day you come in here to the day that you die.
You got daily challenges.
Daily challenge. One of them I'll give you is time management. How do I manage my time? We don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I get it right some days. You know what I'm saying?
Some days are better than others.
That's it, man. Time management. When you get out here, it's like, oh man, I got all this time on my hands. I got 4-5 hours, man. What did I do? You know what I'm saying? And you got to figure that out. Then you got 4-5 hours on your time, and then you know started getting the urge. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Mark, we'll interrupt 1 minute. The truth is this, when you leave here, you got 24 hours in the day. Typically, you're gonna work 8 hours, you'll probably sleep 8 hours. You'll probably spend an hour getting to work. You're gonna take 3 hours for meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you go to a meeting today, that takes, 2 hours, because you got to meet before the meeting. The truth is, you got about an hour a day that's the witching hour. And that's the one you gotta look out for. So time management in recovery with good sponsorship and a good program, your time is gonna be mapped out for you. And a couple other things that were mentioned, you gotta do the work. You're gonna have to go through the pain, you're gonna have to go through the celebrations too. But you gotta do the work. You're doing work in here now. It takes a lot of work being after addiction. It's gonna take some work being in recovery, but the rewards are great. You're gonna like the outcome. When you were talking about how during the day, I like the days I have where I get up and I'm all excited, I get to play golf all day. I'm all excited because I got a hot day with my wife. I'm all excited because I get to see my granddad. Some days, nothing but good things, fun things, cool things. You ain't got no time to do them. So, there's a lot of variables out there. But you gotta stay clean and keep showing up on a daily basis to get all this stuff. And you will. You will. He mentioned the guy that his understanding, he ain't gonna do for him and quit. Same with me and Boston. The guy don't understand. All you gotta do is get the guy who understands. The guy that don't, you understand. It doesn't have to be a Bible guy, it doesn't have to be any other guy, but the one you understand. Real simple stuff. G-O-D, go to all his direction. God,
About 2 minutes. Tell them what the first day was like.
yeah. Come on up here, man. He comes down the hallway all
Tell all this stuff that they was like. But they didn't see the podcast, but he was on the Max Share podcast. They haven't got that friend yet.
Wow, that's my only thing I saw was Facebook people in here.
For the dudes and green, y'all don't know me, I was just sitting in y'all seats 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I came out here, went straight to the exchange within the first 10 hours that I was home. Did what I had to do.
Oh, that was a 10-hour game?
But I spent a little time with my family, went shopping and all that, but I went straight to the exchange, got settled in, and they helped me out a lot. Like I went on the podcast and talked about my story last Thursday. In the current,
Made the cash right away.
Yeah, made some cash right away. They gave me the opportunity to actually go hang out with his dad at his house.
You ain't volunteer to come back the second time.
You give me anytime you need. But I'm in a position right now to be hired at McShane as a peer recovery coach. And
that's because he did the work. He did.
Yeah. Watching y'all come back and forth. I was in that seat for a year.
Ain't you glad you made that choice?
Yeah, because I'm comfortable. I'm at peace where I'm at. Like, I got I'm in a good house with good people.
What house you in?
I'm in McSun.
That's the frat house.
Yeah,
You're in the frat house, man.
Big house.
That's a good time every
There's
night.
21 people in there, but you wouldn't think that it's 21 people because we ain't in each
It's
other.
a mansion.
Yeah.
As big as the whole day.
Yeah.
It's a big house, and you're long.
Well, I'm taking suggestions from people. I'm looking for advice. I'm asking for advice. I go to people when I got a
Charge me less money next time you come over my house.
But yeah, I'm just taking suggestions from people. And yeah, I ain't pushing the issue to rush to do nothing. I'm just letting everything unfold how it's supposed to unfold. I got my family back. I got a good organization of people that I'm meeting. I got good people there. I made friends there already.
You got connections to community to care
I ain't
about.
going back to no old way. I wake up with a fresh mind. I read my Bible, get myself together, and I just take a take a second to just think about what I'm trying to do for the day, what I'm trying to accomplish for the day, and that's it. I keep it very simple.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Simple, good. Any questions from the green team? All right, you good, man?
I'm down, he's last year.
Yeah.
First
Yeah, I
game.
remember your face, yeah.
You left.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, thank you.
I saw that other buddy down at East. Was it Hector? Was his name? That was in here? Yeah. He can't wait to get by. Yeah, he was on after this.
Yeah. So, what was the price?
There you go. The man got the hook up.
You get what hurt, she gonna get you right.
She got Jesse on speed dial.
Exactly, she gonna get you right. She gonna do anything in her best possible
And don't send us no bullshit.
to make it happen.
They all sound good.
She don't waste no time on nothing. She here to help y'all, man. So if y'all need her, go to her. Cause I did. I went to her.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Warm handoff. Safe place to a safe place. It ain't Hollywood, but it ain't the God.
You don't be safe when you get there too.
Yeah.
And they gonna help.
You run a tight ship though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, what I'm doing right now is I'm shadowing somebody, monitoring groups, taking guys out to smoke cigarettes on their cigarette break, make sure they get back to the group on time, make sure they're not in the hallway. So I got a responsibility to do when I'm in the building. And I'm in the building.
You the herder.
Yeah, I'm the herder.
The herder.
So
Burn the crabs.
I don't really get no sleep. I mean, I stay up watching shows that I've been trying to catch up on, you know, since I've been gone, but I wake up early. You know what I mean? I go to sleep and I wake up early and I get myself ready for the day. And I'm up at the church all day. All day.
And Nod was excited, man. He was excited about it because he kept saying to us, man, I'm being mixed in. You know, this was like a couple of months before he got there. So
Show me.
yeah, it was a smooth transition. And I mean, you know, I like to see that happen for anybody that leave jail, man, they got it, you know.
We had a couple of y'all come over there.
Yeah.
But this was exciting to come back up in here and show you what it's working, you know. A lot of guys and girls, they like to get this great life back within 48 hours. But you being patient.
That's impressive. I had to practice that when I was in. Cause I don't really have patience. I rush to do everything. I rush to get home and make
You didn't rush to do that work, man.
Yeah, I mean, I took my time.
Think about it out.
Hey, and I mentioned earlier about, you know, ongoing issues. The whole time we're here, man, from day one until, you know, I mean, John got 41 years, and it's still.
You got 33, what
I'm
you
35.
35. You got a cheat about
And it's still ongoing issues, you know? I mean, our character defects, defects of character, like John said, don't bring them, you know? How we see them, how we approach them and all that, you know? And Hector said about the God of your understanding, you know? Doing a 12-step program, you know, you ask God to relieve you of those character defects. You know, I've heard it interpreted 2 or 3 different ways. God don't take them out of the way. God does allow you to acknowledge them. You got to be careful, you know. That's why I say, man, what we were supposed to talk about today, I said, John, text me that, is about surrendering. And you just don't surrender one time. You might have to do that shit on a daily basis. That stuff, you know, you might have to do that on a daily basis. You might have to surrender. Me and John does it all the time. My wife says something, and I know if I respond, it's going to be an argument. I surrender. I throw my hands up, and it's not just with my wife, but you know, anybody else, man. You know,
My wife taught me more about surrender than the Marine Corps.
I'm telling you that, man. You know, because it's some knuckleheads out there. You know what I'm saying? There's some knuckleheads out there. They don't know what you up.
Hey, Mark, Raynard celebrate 2 years this weekend if he makes it.
2 years.
Yeah. You can make it 3 days.
Oh, yeah. That's the hit.
So I'm gonna pass that too.
But this is how you made it, man. You came in here, you paid attention to Pam and Dale, and you didn't mess up, and you listened, you followed directions, and today you got a new lease on life.
You got a home group yet?
Making tonight my home group going the veterans.
The better.
That was last week, I'm going back to
Okay. What time is it?
8 o'clock.
So you can make it in there every week. It's 8 o'clock, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. They celebrate Rob's anniversary.
Yes.
That's the night.
Yeah, 3 years.
Good Lord, everybody say.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Beverly, you want to say anything? Now's the time. Hurry up, man. You got 2 minutes. Let's go. I got time on the chop chop. Say whatever you like. I think it's why Raynard come over to the kid.
Yeah.
How about it? Okay.
Lynchburg.
Let's go. Just asking.
Lynchburg, Blue Ridge Regional Jail.
But you came from jail to recovery community organization.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. Wow, it works, don't it?
Yeah, I went through 28 days in this program, and now I'm in Stoker, still there, and I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I have a year and 3 months clean, so it really works if you work it and you want it. Just a little bit, I guess, background. I was running the streets for about 11 years, and you know,
It's older than some looks.
yeah. I eventually got tired of being in jail, tired of not seeing my son, just really tired. And this last time I got in trouble, you know, it was 8 years prison time. And it was that, or I got offered conviction. So I mandated that program. But now my son's back in my life. You know, he loves being around me now. He trusts me. And my family trusts me now. So, and honestly, as long as you put in the effort and you try and you really want this, like, it honestly works. So.
You know, we can all, myself included, we can all go to jail or prison on any given day. But don't think for a minute, I would relax. I just ain't trying to go there. And my recovery process, and I'm sure everybody's backing up on this, the recovery process is a lot better than the criminal justice process. And if all I gotta do is remove one simple thing out the equation, and I'm almost like guaranteed the recovery process, that's a no-brainer for me. You know, drug use, shit sandwich, recovery, Twinkie. You think about that tonight when you go to sleep. Tommy, you want to say a word? We wrap this up? Tommy, somewhere. She sleeping again?
No, I went to the bathroom.
Oh, well, we're gonna wrap it up then. Hey, look, I gotta get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
6 o'clock flight. So I'd like to stay here all night with you, but I know Pam wants to get home. So we appreciate y'all coming out again. Thank you so much for your.